morning. I put a little delay in there because the audio is a little bit delayed. So top of the morning to you. I got my coffee. I've had a really bad week. I had a small low-grade headache for 2 days, so I used my Finnegan. I had 3 of them, my God. So today we're going to talk about habits. Habits, I think, is the secret to life or structure. I was brought up with no structure. We weren't expected to do anything except go to church, okay? So, I'm going to fix the camera a little bit. Yeah, we were expected to go to church a lot. I always thought maybe that was the time that my parents used for sexy time. That's right, yeah. So, I love this top, don't you? Okay. All right. Yeah, no structure. We were not given a time to go to sleep. We were not given a time to get up. And the camera's crooked, but I don't care. So, that structure has haunted, the lack of structure has haunted me the rest of my life. Now, with habits, it's like if you want good teeth, you got to get in the habit of brushing twice a day and flossing, you know. It's the habits that really dictate how your life's going to go, right? Get in the habit of doing your dishes after you eat. You see where this is going? And since I've had no structure my whole life, I've had to learn how to get in the habit to doing things. So I've always gotten these apps where you can, ping every date that you do what you're supposed to do. And sometimes they just go away, they don't work, or it's too complicated. So the only system that I've had that actually works is to get a big dry erase board and write down everything that I need to do, and to just use a wall calendar. So if I put it on this big dry erase board, which is like almost 2.5 foot wide, 2.5 foot tall, I know if it's on that board, it's eventually going to get done because I have to look at it all the time. So if you're one of these people that need to look at your to-do list, that may be the route to go, is to use a big dry erase board. And I'm the one that loves to cross things off. It keeps me going in a pattern. It keeps me productive. Now, if it's not on that board, I don't consider it important, you see. So if you want good skin, you have to get in habits. Like you've got to exfoliate at least a couple times a week, and I have not been good about using that derma roller. I need to get back into that. So I've decided to go ahead and have the skincare routine. And because I'm kind of forgetful now, I would have to put it in a process in a row of, I use this first, this first, this first. So if you want good skin, that is a good thing to do. Because if you leave out a step, that could be detrimental. Like for years, I used moisturizer even when I was, a young mother. But I always forgot this area, and it's showing up, you see. And I used to have a real big fat face, and so I've got more wrinkles here when I lose weight. And my dermatologist said, at woman your age, if you lose a lot of weight, you look older because the wrinkles are more prominent. So yeah, it's all about habits, people. And you don't realize that everything you do in life is a habit. When you wash your clothes, you got to do it probably 3 times a week. That's a habit. When you do your nails, that's a habit. Yeah, because every so often you've got to take care of your nails. Like I finally got a pedicure last week, and it was glorious. I haven't had one in 2 years. So sometimes you got to go to a professional. Since I've had both hips done, it's a little bit more tedious or difficult to, do my own toes. So yeah, your whole life is habits. So the reason why my week has been so hard is for lots of reasons. Some of them I can't talk about. But it is things that are beyond my control. And a lot of things in your life, are they beyond your control? You have to accept that and then go on about your day. And all I can do is pray about it, really. There's so many things you can't have any control over, especially your adult children. They get to an age where they don't want to listen to you. They think you're nuts, crazy. But the only thing I have going for me is as they start approaching 50, things will start clicking with them like it did with me. It wasn't until I was in my early 50s that I realized that my mom had the best of intentions. And yeah, I think having adult children is way much more difficult than raising toddlers. Give me a toddler any day, but it's those adult children that calls for alarm, okay? Yeah, and the only thing, I always tell other women this, I said, you have up until about 8 years old, when your children are before 8 years old, to instill with them the morals and the structure that they need to get on with their life and to be a good citizen and a good person. Because once they hit about 8 years old, if you haven't taught them how to behave in public, or if you haven't potty trained them by then, if you haven't gone over hygiene with your children, or how to be a good person, how to act in public, you've already lost the battle. Because once they hit 8 years old, they start thinking on their own, and they have a mind of their own, of course. So, yeah. So all you mothers and fathers out there, remember what I just said, because I remember raising my daughter and my granddaughter. It's harder to raise little girls, let me tell you, especially when they're teenagers. You might as well lock them in a closet and throw away the key. I remember my granddaughter got a little bit of an attitude when she was 8. Yeah. But she's been the highlight of my life. But my adult children have been giving me a spell, I guess you could say. They think they know everything. Well, they don't. They don't. And I don't know what else to say. I wish I could share with you the things that I'm dealing with, but as my daddy said, don't air out your dirty laundry, right? And he was right. But I also attribute a lot of these problems to my ex, because whenever they needed money or anything, he would just give it to them. And now he's realizing that it has caused a great deal of problems. And so him and I have come to the realization, no more money, nothing, no more money. And he realizes the consequences that all these years that he's loaned them money. And when I was married to him, I would, help my children out. But it ends up hurting them in so many ways. I can't tell you. I always say, I used to tell my mom this, because she would be a little bit backwards about which one of her children loved her the most. I said, Mom, close your pocketbook and see who visits you. And it would be me. It would be me. Yeah. So if you want to find out which one of your children loves you the most and is not using you, or you're not enabling some of your children, close your wallet, close your pocketbook. So I will say goodbye. I've got to work every day this week. I think because of my training and my promotion, I have to pull a lot more hours. So rest is essential. You know, and there are some days where I don't do anything, and I think that's good for your mental health. So never feel bad about doing nothing. You need that. And then on those days that you've got this really big burst of energy, then do everything. Don't let anybody stop you. If you've got that energy to clean the floors, do the dishes, do all the laundry, walk the dog, then use that energy, because a lot of women, I don't think this affects men, but we're all affected by our hormones and our cycles. So there's some days that I remember staying in the bed for 2 or 3 days, but then in the next week, I'd be out there rototillering the garden, planting the whole garden in one day. I mean, how many people can do that? Well, some women can do that. I remember doing all the laundry in one day, or knocking out your to-do list in one day, because I always have said, if you have a lot of chores to do it, write it down and go in a circle. Well, you know, you got this chore to do. You got to go to this business, and you just do it one large loop, get it all done, save your gas, save your time. So I've always done my chores and my to-do list like that. If I have to leave the house to do things like going to the dentist, going to the dry cleaner, do it all in one day. You will save so much time and energy doing that. So I hope I've enlightened anybody, and I just know that there is no instruction book about how to be a good parent. It's a hit or miss situation. So I'm going to go put in my hearing aid. Goodbye, everybody. Love ya.